Good morning, and thank you to everyone joining us via Zoom. Just give us 1 minute. We're going to start broadcasting to Facebook Live and get started.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. And this is your Councilmember, Johnny Khamis. I hope all is well with all of you out there on the internet, and those of you who tuned in this morning. Sorry, my speech is slurred because I just finished a meeting that started at 9 o'clock in the morning yesterday and finished at 1 something in the morning today. 16-hour days is what it's like on Tuesdays for a city council member, and today I'm up and ready to talk about all the issues that are going on in our district and to hear from you. This is the community office hours that we've been doing for the last 7.5 years. We're basically in the last few months of my term, and I do want to stay connected with our community. That's why we continue to do 2 of these every month. This is the one at 8:30 in the morning, and the next one will be on Saturday at 10. Last night there was a lot of discussions on many things. We had a huge discussion on what our COVID response is, and I've been talking a lot about our trash. The trash that's been building up in our on our highways and our parklets, so I've been asking about this every week because we keep complaining about the ones that are on 85 and 87 and Almond Expressway, and nothing gets done. And I don't want to make excuses to my constituents. I know that this is a Caltrans property, but I know that that our community expects the city council to do something about it. So to that end, I'm actually going to be authoring a memo. I authored a memo that'll be on today's agenda that will ask the city to negotiate a deal, much like the deal we did with UP, which is the railroad company, where we would come in and clean up and then charge them for the cleanup. And that is something that me and some of my colleagues have authored a memo that'll go to council today on the Rules Committee. I hope it does go forward and get enacted so that we can actually get, take over on some of the cleanups here. That being said, we've also been working we're trying to set up a volunteer group cleanup effort, and more to come on that. We have some volunteers who are willing to go and talk to our unhoused individuals and ask them to put stuff in bags and help us clean up the area. I know that we have to do this because we're not allowed to move our unhoused individuals anymore due to state law. So I want all of you to be aware of that. Well, now you hear my dog. Well, this is the virtual age, isn't it? In any case, yesterday we also passed a fee on housing, commercial impact fee that we've been putting off for many, many years. And and so there was many fees proposed. Some of them were very large, some of them were much smaller. And I did my best. I have been against commercial impact fees because they drive away business, and we still have a housing business imbalance here, and businesses actually produce a lot more tax revenues than do homes. We have a huge housing imbalance, housing to jobs imbalance. Most people actually leave San Jose for their jobs every day, and that actually impacts our tax revenues. Well, the fee passed, and I was able to get some exemptions for retail, and some exemptions for hotel and senior living facilities if they're going to come in and build. So I was happy to get that through as part of my effort. And I also got the ability for these developers to actually buy buildings instead of building them, which takes years. And so I've been stressing that buying is much cheaper than building, and the city has to take advantage of that idea. So those things were accepted by the maker of the motion, and it did go through yesterday. So our next council meeting is going to be on September 15th, and we're going to be discussing a lot of police issues. So if you're interested in some of the police reforms, tune in for that one. That should be an all-nighter as well. And and then this evening, Mayor Liccardo is hosting a community meeting about the city's recruitment of a new city attorney. Unfortunately, sadly, our last city attorney retired and then passed away shortly after. And I was disheartened. I really liked really became friends with our Rick Doyle, who was our city attorney for more than 20 years. Sad to see him pass. But we are recruiting for a new city attorney. And lastly, I'm hoping that people will get into discussing an idea that is being promoted through the state to allow by right the single family homes to be converted into fourplexes. And we will have more information on that soon, but stay tuned on that, and we'll let you know when another meeting is, or where you can get involved and talk about things that concern you, or your support for this idea. One of the bright shining things that happened during this fire, I know everything's been doom and gloom, but it really brought our community together, and our community came together, and we put, with the help of Finney Abraham, who's on the line here, who helped us pitch in to help those who have been evacuated from their homes in Santa Cruz and elsewhere from these fires. I am so happy and proud to have Finney in our community helping us mobilize our religious institutions to do more for our community. This is not the only thing that Finney has done. But I want to say welcome. I don't know if you can unmute yourself and introduce yourself, Finney. Good morning.
Yeah, hello, Councilmember Khamis. Nice to be here, and yeah, thanks for having me. Happy to have a conversation about this.
Yeah. So if you have some questions for me or Finney, please put them in a Q&A box on the chat on the Zoom, and I think there's something similar on Facebook. So please do make that. Oh, there! Look at that. Our crack team of individuals are a lot more awake than I am. So there you go. Here's the instructions. So Finney, can you tell us about a beautiful day? And can you before we go into that, introduce yourself. What do you do?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Finney Abraham. I am one of the pastors at Westgate Church. We have two campuses, one in Saratoga and one here in Almaden and South Hills. And yeah, so I'm one of the pastors. I take care of everything outside the walls of our church. So I work with government and nonprofits and other faith communities to do community impact works, especially since COVID. We've been working with the elderly, figuring out childcare, food pantry, working with you, Councilmember Khamis, about displaced workers project, and trying to be a light in the community. And I love what I'm doing, and thankful for the platform.
Well, Finney, thank you for all what you do. And I think you're being quite humble. There's a lot of work that you've done with us well before this COVID and well before the fires. And we've been working together on that thing that you have on your lapel there, the Beautiful Day Project, which we've been proud, even before you were on board with the church, we were working on Beautiful Day events in our city of San Jose. And you guys may not recall, well, hopefully you do recall, and you've seen the results of this every day you drive on Almaden Expressway, but we worked with Finney and the churches to actually clean up Almaden Expressway and paint the walls. And that was one of the smaller projects that we did that day. We did a lot more last year. And can you tell us about what Beautiful Day does and what your plans are for the future?
Yeah, Beautiful Day is now, since I came here, is a separate public charity. It started as part of a ministry at Westgate. And so one of the works that we did last year and before that, we worked with schools, we worked with elderly folks who houses falling down and need help. We work, as Councilmember Khamis just said, help that was needed at the Almaden Expressway. And this year, Beautiful Day is on October 17th and 18th. Registration will start by September 20th. We have about 2 projects in Almaden. One is at the near Almaden Lake, and the other one is at Almaden Expressway. And so, yeah, all of you can actually jump into our website, beautifulday.org. And you can register to come and help out for 2 days. It's a Saturday and a Sunday, 17th and 18th.
That's wonderful. And like I said, I've been so delighted to work with you folks. The volunteers come out in droves. There's plenty, and we get larger things accomplished. Last time we got about a half a mile of Almaden Expressway's walls repainted and the what do they call that, weed barriers put in and wood chips put on top of that. So it was a really nice effort, really helped out one portion of Almaden Expressway. We're gonna, I think Finney just said we're gonna do another portion in October. It will be a socially distant project, and we will be requiring face masks and gloves and what have you.
Can I just mention one thing about it? We just got, so we serve in Santa Clara County. We have 21 projects. All our projects just got the clearance from the county health department that it's all outdoors. It can be done with social distancing and mask and washing your hands. And those are the main 3 things that we'll be focusing even as we continue to do the work. So it is COVID protected, as they say.
Yeah, well, good. Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that they can volunteer. Now, we've had a lot less volunteers out there, to clean our parks and to clean our, and to plant trees and what have you. And I want to let everybody who's listening out there to know that, yes, our parks, you can still volunteer. We are doing it in socially distant ways. We're providing masks, we're providing equipment still. The projects are smaller, but you can get involved, and we encourage you to get involved. My staff will put, I hope, how to get involved with Beautiful Day on the chat here, and also we'll be putting up how you can get involved with the Adopt a Park folks to come out to cleanups and tree plantings and what have you, because they're still happening. In fact, our parks have never been more used. I've got statistics that Almaden Lake is one of the busiest places in our city. And so, and it looks pretty good, considering that it's one of the busiest facilities in the city. So we need people out there to help us keep it clean and keep it alive. So, go ahead.
I just want to chime in and ask, what were those dates again, and when will registration open?
Yeah, registration will open after September 20th, and the dates for the volunteering work is October 17th and 18th.
Great. And is there age qualifications? Are there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every project has a age qualification. It's about 5, about 8, and yeah. So each project, when you look at it, they will specifically tell what the age requirement is. I think so for Almaden Lake Expressway, since it's in the road, it's about 13.
And where could they find the link to this project?
Yeah, so we will be updating our website. So our website will be the best place to go. I think so. Someone put that in the chat: www.beautifulday.org.
Oh, there it is. Yes, you're quite correct. And why don't looks like Amal did this? Why don't you guys put up the website for our city's volunteer effort, which is called Adopt a Park as well, please, whoever's doing that. You know, I've been so proud to work with you on other things as well. And why don't you talk a little bit about what we've been trying to do to get people back to work?
Oh yeah, that's an exciting project that we've been working on since COVID. One of the things that we wanted to focus was to help our community folks who have lost jobs in the hospitality industry and also in the restaurant industry. How can we possibly retrain them and get them a full-time job? The greatest dignity a person has and can have is to have a well-paying job. We are a faith community and we help people with their immediate needs, but there's nothing greater than a person helping himself or herself by having a job. And so we are trying to identify employers along with your office, Councilmember Khamis, and thank you for connecting and putting these people on a table. And we are trying to get employers and also reaching out to folks who lost their jobs and connecting them to possibly have a training of 8 to 10 weeks and employers hiring them for full-time tech jobs. So we are in communication of trying to get this platform up, and we'll see where it goes.
And for those employers who want to make a difference here, we put a group consisting of Work to Future, other nonprofits, of course, yourself, and it'll be paid training, not just unpaid training. This is paid training, and at the end, you may get a job out of it. So we're working closely with other organizations, like I said, Work to Future. If you're looking for immediate help, they do provide some education out there and paid education, and maybe our staff could put up the link to Work to Future as well. And so on that effort, we have had, many people say, many people are like leaving the area. Many people are going, just basically giving up. And I think that it's important for us to make sure that the employers who are not doing poorly should be thinking about hiring people who may just need a little bit of education on how to get up to speed and doing a different type of job. Yeah. And so, yeah, we want, if you're an employer, please contact us.
Absolutely. And so I just want to tell you, Councilmember Khamis, this conversation started because we had few employers in our community who reached out and said, how can I help? And these are folks who are running small businesses or small companies. And that's when we figured that they could possibly train these folks a technology that they're running or selling and possibly get them a job. So it came from employers in our community who wanted to make a difference. And I think because of your office's involvement, you're making it easy for the employers to get into this space and help people.
Well, it's my honor and my pleasure, and I'm hoping that things move even faster forward. Again, love working with you, and so let's switch a little bit of a topic on this and talk about, I know that you don't like to brag. It seems like you're very, very, you try to walk a very fine line here, but I love bragging about people in my community and what they're doing. So let me brag a little bit. I've been so proud of the efforts that your church and yourself and others in our District 10 community have stepped up to help fire victims. Why don't you give us a little bit of background on what we've done, what you've done in District 10, and let us know how did you get involved in this?
Yeah, well, thank you. Now, I need to say this, Councilmember Khamis, I work very closely with one of your policy aides, Michelle Dexter, who's very involved in the community. And as soon as we heard about the fire, I reached out to her just to see how can we help folks in Santa Cruz. Your office actually connected me to the vice mayor of one of the Santa Cruz County cities. So Derek Tim, we got connected with him, and I realized there's a major need for about 20,000 people who were evacuated. And Santa Cruz EOC needed immediately water, blankets, and tents. And I asked them, how much do you need? What is the capacity? And they said, we have close to or more than 20,000 people who are going to walk into these places. So we just put a simple flyer out there. Councilmember Khamis, I should tell you, not all of them were Westgate or our community folks. It was a majority of them were District 10 community people who just came, have never come into our campus before, and they just started bringing stuff. I think so. We collected over 50 tons of water and blankets and tents of about 8 to 9 trucks worth of stuff. And we were able to send it to Santa Cruz. And that happened pretty quickly. It's definitely a community effort. And we were so thankful that we were able to be a platform to do that. But at the same time, we realized that fire the victims of fire is a very long-term process. This is just the beginning of our connections with Santa Cruz. We hear about 680 or 700 houses have been lost so far. And so we are in connection not only with the EOC of Santa Cruz, there are several faith communities, about 15 of them, that has come together and are working in coordination to help people in Santa Cruz County. And we are helping them. They just put up a website called Santa Cruz Strong. I can put that on the chat or send it to your office, and which has all the resources that is needed. And also we started a fire relief fund. And many people in the community actually contributed to it. 100% of that fund goes to the fire relief in Santa Cruz. Our church, our elders made a decision to send $50,000 last week to an organization there that is running RVs and other things in their parking lot, TLC, Twin Lakes Church. About 60 people are staying in the parking lot. And so we sent some immediate funds there. We'll be continuing to do this. This is the second phase, is to help folks with talking about insurance. We're talking about possibly, if they're hiring a consultant, we may pay for them. We are now helping with gift cards and other things that is needed for folks. We are planning to send a cleaning crew. We heard that's the next thing that is needed. It's a very emotional thing for families to go back to houses that are burnt down. And they would like 4 to 5 people assisting them, helping them to clean and actually finding things that may still be there. So we are planning to send a cleaning crew, and also Councilmember Khamis, I should tell you, it's not just Westgate Church alone involved. There are other faith communities in Almaden, Venture, Menlo Church. There are other churches in our community that are joining together to be part of this effort. So I literally got involved with this because of the involvement of your office, but together I think so we did something. And let me just end by telling this. There's a lot of tough things that is going on since the beginning of the year. I don't need to convince anyone. Every month there's something going on. But when I saw our community coming together, I was hopeful that we can go through anything and get out of anything when community gets together and to see their generosity. This is part of what we do, what we preach, is to be compassionate and to be generous. And we're glad that we have a platform to do that at this moment.
Again, and I'm really proud of your efforts and the efforts of Venture and all the folks. And I can tell you that my own Kiwanis Club of Almaden also pitched in. when I posted the flyer on my Facebook, I've never received such positive and quick sharing. I mean, if I've never had anything shared so much. So again, really proud of your efforts. And it looks like my staff is putting the links that we were just discussing on that, yeah. So,
If you want to,
go ahead.
I just put there our relief or fund page. And if you want to contribute in material or in financially, that's the place to go. It has all the information. 100% of that will go to Santa Cruz.
Are you having another drive like you did before with a truck? And if so, when is it and what do you need?
Absolutely. So, so I'm in conversation both with Santa Clara EOC as well as Santa Cruz. And so after doing this, we have learned how to do this stuff a little bit better. So if there is an immediate need that happens anywhere, not just in Santa Cruz, in anywhere in our community, we will do these kind of drives again, and we'll let you know. And our website is the best place to look at. Right now, we are in phase 2, and what they need is gift cards and financial stuff. And so that's what we're focusing now. If the fires actually would have come close to Santa Clara, they actually called me and said that it would be great if we could do it again, a drive. So any disaster like this, if it happens, we will quickly respond, and we will let you know. Your collaboration will be really helpful for us to move forward with this.
Well, it's our honor and it's my pleasure to do so. Well, I think that we can now go to the public and see if my staff has questions. I know it's kind of early in the morning, but do we have questions from the public?
Yes, we do. We have lots of questions from the public. So a lot of them are relating to some council policy, but before we go there, we had a few people that wanted to say thank you to Finney for all of his service. Tur on Facebook wanted to thank him specifically. And also Lydia on Facebook wanted to thank District 10 for providing a forum to broaden the awareness of this service, and wanted to give a shout out to Michelle Dexter for her support and for getting the word out. So that's all great.
Well, absolutely. I'm very proud of Michelle from my office as well.
All right, so the first question we have is from Sue on Zoom, and she's asking about the Woods apartment area on Snell. And she wanted to ask, what can you do regarding speeding, extremely loud vehicles, sideshow-like acts, and extreme speed in that area?
Well, the best thing to do is do report it to 311. If it's happening right now, you can report it to 911. I have made, a lot of this stuff is complaint driven, and they need to know when it's happening so that they can catch it. Sometimes it's easier for them to patrol if they had narrowed down what times that these sideshows are happening. So we do have some traffic enforcement units are out doing the work. But again, the office is thinly staffed, and so they kind of needed a little bit more help from you, understanding who, and if you can take videos safely, that'd be great. If you can, you can also email my office, and we'll be happy to speak to our captain, L. Washburn, who has actually, we have been catching quite a few of these sideshows. Unfortunately, there's no prosecution, and I myself and Maya Esparza passed a new large fee if you get caught, but oftentimes they're in cars, and so they go. Sometimes we can impound the cars. That actually helps, but it is a very difficult crime to catch, because a lot of these sideshows, as soon as you report them, they're gone within a few minutes, and it's difficult to enforce. But please do let us know exact locations, times of where these sideshows are happening. As far as loud cars are concerned, I don't know. That is a different thing. It's tough to do that at all, because some of these motorcycles are very loud, and there's nothing we can do about it. They're street legal, then they're street legal. And to my disappointment as well, I hear cars I live right off of Camden, and I think Camden is a very noisy road sometimes because of these loud cars. Thank you for the questions. Maybe our staff can put up some links on where to report speeding and sideshows. And
Yes,
there's
and
also an app, by the way. Pardon me?
yeah, I also wanted to add that we're going to have Captain Al Washburn on Community Connections on September 24th in the evening, so keep a lookout for that. And we will put the link to the app to report these incidents. I just wanted to note that Finney will be leaving the office hours right now. So if anyone had any questions, please get them in. And if Finney's no longer available, we will forward those over. Is anyone online that has any questions right now for Finney before he heads off? If you do, please raise your hand. If not, we will send any questions for Finney.
Thank you, Finney, for joining us today.
Thanks
What's
for having
the next
me.
question?
All right, the next question is from Robert via email. And you touched on this earlier in your announcements, but maybe you could do a quick recap. And the question is, when will the tent and the trash accumulating at the Allenton Expressway on-ramp to 85 South be removed?
So Caltrans gave us the date of September 18th, I think. Well, put it this way. I've had less than 4 hours of sleep. Maybe my staff tuned in a little bit better on the date and the time that the trash is going to be picked up, but I thought it was September 18th. It'll be in mid-September sometime, that's for sure. Caltrans will be cleaning that up.
Great, thanks. And the next question is from Gary on Facebook. He wants to know what your position is on the elimination of Prop 13 by AG Becerra.
I don't support eliminating Prop 13. I think, and I don't think that the Attorney General actually has a right to do so. I think it has to get on the ballot, and I think several attempts are going to be on the ballot, and you have to be very careful. I've already been strongly against eliminating the protections of Prop 13. I think it'll affect our senior citizens, our small business owners. I think it's a very dangerous proposition. All in an effort to raise taxes, and this is actually the worst environment to raise taxes in. When we've already had so many new taxes that have been increased, both locally and regionally, and so no, I am very much against the elimination of Prop 13, which is the property tax protections that we have for people and businesses.
Great. The next question is from Sandra on Facebook. This is a simpler one. The question is, what time does the City Council meeting start on September 15th?
I believe it's going to start at 11. We've been starting the meetings at 11 for the public because these meetings have tended to last a long time. Now, just because it starts at 11 doesn't mean that the item that you're interested in is going to be at 11. Like for the example, the police item, I think won't start till at least 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So if there's a specific item that you want to weigh in on, you should look on the agenda, and the higher the number, the longer it's going to take for us to get on there. So if your item is in the 3s, it'll be earlier. If it's in the 8s, it's going to take a while. So yesterday, item 8.2 was taken at 11 o'clock at night, and item 8.5 at 1 a.m. So this morning. So, you could be in for a long day if your item has a high number or if it doesn't get prioritized. I know that sounded like that was as clear as mud, but that's the way these council meetings work, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. The next question is from Tur on Facebook, and she was wondering, why do we have 3 to 7 daily vegetation fires downtown? And is this something to be concerned about?
You know, there's a lot of issues in many places downtown because there's a high density of homeless encampments, and I think it's it is a sad thing. And yesterday I asked how many people we're outreaching to, and we were told that all the homeless individuals, you know, there has been an efforts to contact them and give them alternative means of shelter, but many of them are not taking advantage of that, and I think that's going to be brought up. I asked for you know, statistics on why many of these homeless individuals are not taking advantage of the shelters that, you know, they're being provided with, and that report's coming back, I think, on the I'm going to say the 22nd of September. But yeah, a lot of these fires are due to some homelessness activities, cooking, what have you, especially if they're near the off ramps.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, and as of now, we have no more questions. So would like to request anyone to add any questions in the Facebook chat or in the Zoom chat or the Zoom Q&A, and we will get to it. So if anyone has any questions, please submit them now.
You know, one of the questions that I got on Facebook a couple of days ago is why I'm supporting opening the casinos. I think that it's important for us. By the way, we're not opening the casinos indoor. A lot of people think, hey, you know, why can't I send my kids back to school and you're allowing the casinos to open? We're allowing the casinos to open outdoors, and just like hair, you know, the nail salons and some of the other food businesses that are allowed to open outdoors. Believe it or not, the casinos provide us with millions of dollars, maybe tens of millions of dollars annually in revenue, and we actually are trying to close budget deficits for the next foreseeable future. And so we did vote to allow them to operate outdoors yesterday. Well,
did you want to say something about linkage fees? And
I did already,
You did
Michelle.
the
That
linkage fees,
sounds,
okay.
yes, I did at
You did
the
that
very
one, okay.
beginning.
Sorry, it's not my thing. It's okay.
Yeah, and we'll have a full report in our newsletter. So for those of you who don't get our newsletter, please log on to sjd10.com and look at previous editions and look at our new newsletter that just came out, I think, yesterday. It'll update you on fires, linkage fees, and much more. So thank you all for tuning in, and have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon on Saturday.